Innovative content. Global audience.
Hello, good morning, Nigerians. How are you doing today? My name is Princess KESSY, and this is your favorite program, Wake Up Nigeria, reaching you live from SRO TV studio. Of course, this morning we have a lot of trending issues we'll be discussing about topic, of course, issues bordering on you, on the nation as a whole. Welcome to the show. I have with me this morning yours and only Daddy KRIS on the show this morning. I also have Moses John with us this morning to discuss some of these very trending issues. Good morning, all.
Good morning from London.
Good morning, Princess.
Yes, how is London
Moses.
this morning?
Yeah, good morning, Daddy KRIS. I'm glad to be here
man?
this morning.
Yes, nice.
Hope you feel better this morning, Daddy KRIS.
A lot better. I have Moses, I'm stronger. Yeah.
Thank you for the confidence bestowed on me, Daddy KRIS. Thank you so much.
That is nice. That is nice. So Abuja is sunny this morning. The town, the city is bright, and of course, everything is calm here. But of course, we have people. Now, Nigerians, we always have people. Some set of people not happy and all that. Of course, talking about the indigenes of Abuja this morning. I was supposed to have their president this morning, but he's already on his way to the courts as we speak for some legal issues. But he promised to be with us soon, if possible today. Of course, we know the issues bordering on the minds of the people. A lot of demolitions are going on over here in the city, talking about a time where we don't have cash, where we don't have money. You can't even access your own money. Things are not working well enough for it, and then you just come. Probably also the government also have given them a notice before now, but a lot of places were demolished yesterday around one area of the city, and a lot of people are really not finding that funny at all. I spoke with the president, and he's so aggrieved, he's so angry. I really do hope that the government will find a solution around that, because now these people don't have anywhere to go to. Of course, they are indigenous. Where do you expect them to go to other people's states? These are some of the issues, and they are not very good this morning. We move on quickly this morning as we do the reviews this morning, and I'll be kicking it off this morning, the reviews with this day newspaper. Of course, we have these are some of the stories making waves this morning on this day newspaper. We have INEC to political parties. See March. INEC to political parties. See March election as a contest, not a war. These are some of the issues this morning. That's one of the major captions we're having this morning on this day paper. INEC, of course, is calling on political parties to see the upcoming election, the governorship election, as a contest and not a war. Of course, I bet also that should be directed also to their followers, because we see a lot of issues on social media, fighting, dragging, and so many issues. Moses, you just want to drag yourself to the corner a little so we can see the paper, we can see your face very well. This other side. No, yes, that is fine. And so we have another story here, and the writer says, pledges to set up legal team to handle cases of electoral offenses. And we also have another story here. Permits PDP APC legal team to inspect presidential election materials. And then we'll have another writer here that says, call your lieutenants to order. NSA tells political gladiators. Of course, this was exactly what I said a while ago. They should call their followers to orders. And then we'll have another story here also to say marginal fields. NUPRC moves to mitigate awardees. Funding challenges. And the writer says set to release corporate governance framework to hold financing roadshow for investors. 16 firms submit field development plan. This is on, of course, we have this on this day newspaper. You want to see more of that story on page 10 of this day newspaper. And of course, we have another headline here that says banks begin dispensing of 500 naira, 1,000 naira via ATMs over the counter on page 8 of this day newspaper. And then, of course, we have another story here. This one is the most interesting one for me. Of course, I'm from Delta State, that says Delta governorship candidates debates on Arise News channels today. And that means we could see from here, this picture here, I could see I am seeing Omar Gege, the great Ogboru, Kempela, I can see Sheriff, Honorable Sheriff, and of course we can see Kenneth Baggy here. But I am not seeing Edijana here, so I'm a little bit, yes, I'm a little bit confused, but we're going to discuss that in the course of the show this morning. So they are going to, they are all set to have a debate on Arise News today. We'll see how that plays out this today. And of course, we have other trendy stories here this morning. Launch of investments in digital and creative enterprises. And of course, we could see also from there the vice presidents and Adesina and some other people, Lai Mohammed as well, on that caption. And then we have another interesting story here this morning on this day that says Amechi, this is coming from Amechi now. Wike a drunk, spends 550 million weekly on alcohol. I don't think that is so accurate. Nobody can drink alcohol with 50 million in
That's a good one.
But I think
Kes, you see, hello, Princess. You see, you can't say that is not accurate. Mind you, Wike used to be Rotimi Amechi chief of staff when he was the governor of Rivers State. Mind you, they are friends, so they know themselves. If Amechi at this time could say Wike is spending that much on alcohol, you can't really fault it. Amechi knows Wike very well.
Of course. Let me tell you something, Moses. Let me tell you something. If two people are fighting or quarreling, you don't expect me to tell you you are very beautiful, you are very handsome. Of course, I'll look for something that will be very painful to tell you. And then these are political. You know, Wike and Amechi are two great enemies over the years. And of course, Amechi will want to always say something that will trigger Wike up, and we know all that. Except I'm not saying that though. It's only when somebody is in drug. But what content of alcohol are you? We are talking 1 week, Moses, 7 days for 50 million naira. Except one of the bottle is 5 million. Then I will agree to that.
Of course, it's possible. These guys are classy guys.
Moses, come on. We can't wait to hear what Wike have to say about Amechi habit.
Because I know he's going to be back to back very soon.
Wike is coming.
We'll be hearing from Wike soon. You know Wike now. Wike will never take no or calm down for an answer. You all know Wike.
I don't know why. If I am Rotimi, I will start this because Wike is such an ass, man. He's going to come back seriously.
I used to say Wike is the shameless, and you cannot shame the shameless. Yes. And at this point, I just feel like Wike, of course, Wike is not somebody you want to have issues with. Just let it go because Wike not a tire. Now you go tire. Wike will drag you like a public generator. We all know Wike.
This is his arena. This is the kind of thing you know.
Wike and Bino, they are people you don't want to have issues with because they don't have shame as it stands in this country as a whole. So I really do hope that works out well for Amechi because this is something I know we're going to see more of it. We have not seen the end of it, certainly.
Well, very well. You are absolutely right.
Yes, go ahead.
You are right, Princess. Please, away from Wike and Amechi, one of the headlines which you read at, which happened to be the banner headline on this day newspaper, talked about INEC advising politicians to see March 18 as a contest, but not war.
And not a war.
You know, yes, it's key. It's key at this moment. You and I know in Nigeria, where politicians see elections as do or die affair. You know, they might want to do whatever they like just to ensure they stay, in power. And so honestly, this is coming at the right time for me. I believe INEC should go ahead also I mean, in partnership with security agency, find a way to sanction any politician whose supporters or anybody at all that foment trouble, because they need to test their popularity. If you think they are popular, I mean, the electorate will vote for you. If you are not, whatever the electorate say, please take it in good faith. It shows that, hey, they don't want you, and so that's what it means. You don't have to go ahead by fomenting trouble, unleashing terror on innocent people who might want to go and perform their civil responsibility. So I think the advice from INEC is up and honestly is germane at this time.
And of course, also, I think voters, their supporters, they should be calm. Sometimes it's not even necessarily these people. Maybe they are the ones motivating the supporters also. But we could see a case study of state. A case study of my state where you could see APC and PDP supported. It's been so fierce for days now. And then, of course, we know that election is coming, but of course, like INEC is saying, it's not a do or die affair. It's not a war, but these supporters, they've made it a war over a few days now, as I can see from my state. And of course, I'm even happy today that they're having a debate. These are some of the issues we'll just want to ask them. What is this war? Cold war between INEC, APC and PDP supporters, the whole state. We don't get to hear about other parties. It's just these people. And of course, we really do hope also that these people will take it the way INEC is seeing it, because we know that here, my only fear in this is that elections are here and not like that. Of course, we know that these people involved, the candidate, they will want to grab it by fire, by force anyway. They don't care. And so we're really just hoping that this time around they will take a clue from what happened the last time was not very okay with Nigerians, and so we don't want to see things like that. And then we'll have another story here. Moses, please, you have money because I know you are in Nigeria.
Princess, before you jump on, there was an assassination attempt.
On Sheriff yesterday. Yeah, I was going to bring that at the end of the show.
And this is all they do or die. They think they can ferment this thing. PDP are not free, but now when you begin to engineer young people to take arms against others, a time will come they'll turn against you as well. And this is good. This is how ammunition entered the whole streets of Nigeria. Who gave all these lumps ammunition? It's the politicians. You understand? Do you think all these guys know where to get guns? They don't. It's the politicians helping to bring the guns in, arm them, and at the end of the day, become menace in society. So we should learn that whatever we're doing is going to come back to us someday. But the attempt is really very shameful. I hope that this debate, it will be one of those things we'll talk about today.
Yesterday night, I put some calls through to Delta State. I spoke to some of the PDP guys, some of the SA to COA, some of the people there, media aid, and of course, they confirmed that everywhere is calm now. Sheriff is okay, and people are back to their lives peacefully, and that's a good one. And then I was going to ask you, Moses. I know you are in Abuja here, so they said banks are not dispensing the old 500 naira, 1,000 naira. Do you have money, please? Do you have any cash with you?
Well, it's actually a good one, Kess. Before the back and front comment on Monday by both the CBN governor and President Muhammadu Buhari, NLC has come out very strong to issue a 1-week ultimatum for the federal government to, address this perennial issue, because as a matter of fact, they've asked workers to remain at home if this issue, you made the way it is now. Now, talking about if I have money in my pocket, where is the money? Let me tell you this funny situation. My cashier in the office went to the bank yesterday, and of course, he was given the old notes from the bank. And guess what happened? He went to filling station to buy fuel, but they rejected the money. The money was rejected. The old note was rejected from him. So I think government and CBN need to find a way again to penalize those who are rejecting this money. First, Supreme Court has gave a judgment on this issue and said, hey, let's this old note and the new note run pari passu till December 31st, right? You also saw it took a while for even the presidency to speak about this. It took a while for the president, who is the commander and chief of the armed forces, to come out to say, until they accuse him of disrespecting the order of court. And I say, no, CBA has no right to disobey Supreme Court judgment. Now you now see Emefiele quickly saying, old notes is legal. I mean, it's still legal tender till December 31st. So it's funny. It's funny. Truly, I know in Nigeria, this is going to take a while before, an ordinary man, if, for instance, a filling station will reject it, filling stations is expected that their management are informed. And so they must have heard this on radio, on TV, and on newspaper. But for them to say they are not collecting, so it's funny. You can imagine a wheelbarrow man, or a man selling sugarcane, or a bike man, or a taxi man, for instance. You giving him that old money, he will tell you I'm not collecting. So what happened? You that collected from the bank. Just like I said, an example with my cashier in the office. He collected this money from the bank, but they refused to collect it in the energy station. So it's a terrible situation, really. It's sad.
It's really a sad one. I agree with you on that, because yesterday also I couldn't lay my hands on Evo, and I needed to make a lot of photocopies, printing, and then they said they don't want transfer, they don't want a card either. I need to bring cash. I was just all over, wasting my fuel, driving left and right looking for cash. And of course I went to the car wash. That was where Aboki, I begged Aboki though. I was very, very humble yesterday. Aboki, please, now you have so much money, give me some. And he said, okay, I should make transfer, of course, including with my including to the bees, of course, of the car they washed, and he gave me extra 1,000 naira, and that was I was able to make some prints yesterday, and I'm still holding on to the change and see if my life depend on it, because I'm not willing to let go either. I'm not, of course, they gave me new money, the new 1,000 naira, so I'm not even willing to let go easily. We move on quickly to the Punch newspaper this morning, and these are some of the headlines this morning. We have the major headline here that says banks ration old notes. This is coming from Punch newspaper, and then we have NSC insists on 7-day ultimatum. This is coming from NSC this morning. And like I will always say, Moses, I really want to have a word with you on this NSC issue, because I know you are a very strong member there. We're going to get back to that story, but let me just quickly roll through the headlines this morning. And of course, on that headline, these are some of the riders we can see here. Customers lament as CBN retain withdrawal old notes deposit limits. So they still have limits as we speak. Of course, fuel stations, traders, motorists accept old currencies, POS agents slash charges. These are some of the riders. CBN mom on disbursement of more old 1,000 naira, 500 naira notes to banks. And then we have some of the story here. Dollar shortage, bank slash travel allowance, foreign school fees, on page 35 of the Punch newspaper. And of course, we have another story here that says foreign airlines trapped funds hits. Foreign airline trap fund hits $743 million. This is coming from LATA on page 37 of the paper this morning. We also have a story here that says federal almost 13 million cyber attacks recorded during the polls. This is during the presidential poll. This is coming from federal government on page 9 of the newspaper. And then we'll have another story here still on page 9 that says fuel price hike eliminates over poor supply. Marketers warn. This is on page 9 of the news paper. And then we have some other stories here. We could see that INEC will prosecute electoral offenders with speed. This is coming from Yakubu Mahmoud, the INEC chairman. And then we have another story here on page 9 that says review 1,000 naira NIN fee. Council tells NIMC on page 9. Of course, we have another story here. Oyo SDP candidate withdraws, backs Makinde. That story is on page 8 of the newspaper. These are some of the story making waves this morning. And of course, we could see a caption here this morning. This is coming from the Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde, and he's saying that Oyo APC candidates, what are your achievements in your 12 years in the Senate? He's directing that question to the APC governorship candidates. And he went further to say Seyi Makinde campaigns with his 4 years achievements as governor, but the APC governorship candidate has been in the Senate for 12 years. What are his achievements? Who has benefited from his long years in the Senate? It is too late for him to tell people of Oyo State. This is coming from Oyo this morning. I can see that Oyo State Governor is the energy is there, the campaign, because I usually see him every morning on the news, and this good one for him. So Moses, I'm coming back to the end. These are all the headlines this morning, but I'm coming back to you on this NMC. I know you've been a member as long as I've known you, like over 12 years or 15. You've been with NFC. And then I feel, sorry to say this, but I feel like over the years, NMC have I used to call them toothless bulldog. You know, before I used to say Ayub Baba is my crush. I used to have a crush on because of the energy and all that. But all of a sudden, I could see that, especially since Buhari came in, the energy just really went down. Really went from like 100 to 0 real quick. There was no, unlike a time of good luck where we used to see the NSC president, the NSC movement here and there over issues. But now they have been so calm. And I feel like they are too calm for a comfort. Now, what's your take on this? And now all of a sudden, even yesterday when I saw the headlines also, I was telling that the KRIS that good morning to NSC, they have woken up and it's a good one. So what's your take on this as a member also from that union?
Well, first and foremost, I will want to differ away a bit from your assertion that they are toothless bulldog. Well, you know, a lot had happened during President Muhammadu Buhari, and there were salient achievements that NLC as an organization, of course, made. And mind you, membership of NLC is by subscription, okay? And then her first priority is about her members, even though they go ahead to declare some industrial action based on interest, interest for our members, and then secondly, they also look at what affects the variety of the Nigeria public, for instance. I remember in 2012, in 2015 or so, 2016, when President Muhammadu Buhari came on board, and there were this industrial action that NLC declared, and Nigerians came out to the show and said, no, I think it was about fuel increase. Nigeria came to say, no, we don't, just allow us. We will make, the energy available for us. And, we were on the streets, we were stoned. To be precise, in Area 1 roundabout, we were stoned and chased by Nigerians. Okay, now, you know that Labour, for instance, can go and negotiate about her members, ask for palliative. But because they also looked at, okay, what happened to a barber, for instance, who does not have a union, to negotiate or to ask for palliative, to ask to cushion the effect of this increment. and that was why they went on the streets. That's bad way. Let me also inform you that, you know, there's a new leadership of NLC right now, led by Comrade Joseph Ajero. And, you know, Comrade Joseph Ajero is a veteran journalist who had reported labor for a decade, and today is the president of the Nigeria Labour Congress. It's a plus for the journalism profession in Nigeria. Now, for once, we have a journalist, someone who is a veteran journalist, as the president of the Nigeria Labour Congress. Now, going by the issues, you know that NLC have always been on the forefront. But you see, you can't compare the likes of Adams Oshomole with Abdulwahid Omar and with the immediate Ayuba Waba. They are different people who have their style of engagement differently, and so if you want to judge them based on, okay, this one is local, this one is this, you will miss the point. Now you have to look at what were an achievement from this period to this period. To be candid, of course, I'm a Nigerian. I interface with Nigeria public. They believe once government say anything, NS should go and start fighting them. It's not done like that. There are ways in which these guys engage the government. You understand? And you know how many times
also we could see that during Jonathan there were so many engagement, like I will always say, because I've been covering NLC also labor for some time now. But since the inception of the President Buhari, we could see that the activities kind of slowed down. No much press conference and movements and protests like they used to do. So I just feel like they are very calm, and of course, we're hoping also that they will have to do things at the right time, not coming out too late to handle these things.
Well,
I know
just like I said.
Yes, go ahead.
Just like I said, you know, there are different engagements you can engage with your employer. You see, strike or protests are usually the last option. You know, yes, they are usually the last option. So the Ayuba-led presidency of Nigeria Labour Congress engaged more on dialoguing with government on some policies, which of course we've seen. Even though we have a president who maybe after signing an agreement will renege on its implementation. But you see, there's an extent at which these guys could go. They also seek the view of our members on what to do. The president alone cannot say, let's go on strike. Of course, you know, they have organs, you know, who's of course must agree, tally with whatever proposals maybe the National Administrative Council, for instance, propose. If they are not in support, there's nothing the leadership can do. I hope you understand the point I'm trying to make.
Moses,
I am not speaking for NLC likely.
Yes, Moses, you've spoken for them, so I'm going to bring my question. You know, and okay. Because this is the cross for me. The problem in the Nigerian state is one and one only.
Okay.
I said there are only two types of people in Nigeria: the rich and the poor. And then there can never be an LSC for no good reason in my book where a system agree to pay a particular set of people 30,000 naira, where senators and some fools are going with 2 billion. And they said there is Nigerian Labour Congress. They are, in fact, if I see the president, I will be fighting him physically, because that means we don't have a Labour Congress. Or there's nobody fighting for the ordinary people in the society. Moses, this is no joke. The only difference between you guys there and us here is the wages. A cleaner receives a decent wage in the UK, minimum of £1,500. And if you put in more hours, you get more money. But in Nigeria, there is what I call slavery. Who is a slave? By the time you underpay a human being for his services, he's a slave. Let me take you back. When the white people came to take us as slaves, the only reason we said they were taking us as slaves because they were not paying us. Today, we want to go to America to go and work. So it's not going to America to go to work that was the problem. It was the fact that they forced us and they didn't pay us. Exactly what the Nigerian government is doing to our own people. You understand? I can tell you, in fact, when I look at, I don't stay in Europe, I live here. That's a big difference. You understand? And when you are in the system, you see why it works. The hub, the most important thing for a society is the employment, the wages. If I employ somebody in the UK and I pay that person under £1,000, which is £1,200 minimum wage, I'll go to prison. It's straight. And how can there be an LSC? And okay, if Nigeria don't have the money, I can understand. What I just cannot accept is somebody. Sometimes they don't even pay them 30,000. You know, I was in Nigeria, a girl was going to work, her salary was 15,000 naira. Her transport in and out was 8,000. I don't know whether you're sending her on prostitution or not. So these are the kind of things that we say we have a society and an LSC. Moses, I can't wait to interview your president. But if I'll be happy because this is disturbing my mind.
That the case, absolutely, you are very right. You're very right. NLC have to have been the labor movement in Nigeria. I mean, inclusive of TUC, have been in the forefront against the slavery, wages, and all. But you see, we actually have a system where you know, certain persons feels they're above board. They do things and they go scot-free. Mind you, the Nigeria Labour Congress leadership are also from Nigeria. They are not from the blues. They are also Nigerians. And you know, you can't also take away the fact that there are still bad eggs even among the leadership who sometimes might even go against and lay down rules of engagement. Now, it is sad that an employer haven't signed an agreement, haven't also be aware that 30,000 naira is a minimum wage and will not implement same. It is shameful.
Minimum wage, 30,000 naira.
It is shameful. It is embarrassing and it's dehumanizing because like you rightly pointed out,
it's slavery. It's slavery.
Agree.
No other word for it. It's slavery.
Agree. You know
why I said they talk of restructuring Nigeria? They talk of how they're going to share power. What we hear is how they share power. But the most important body in Nigeria is the NLC. They should hold our country to ransom. They should stop every activities. We should be on strike. We don't even want to vote because until this, see, if the National Assembly, the National Assembly spend all this amount of money reforming the electoral process without thinking of how the ordinary Nigerians get on the street, that system to be failed. In fact, we should resist it. And the only body I can actually beg is NLC. I wish I can have them to be one-on-one with him. If I, it's a
Moses,
going to be.
I think that Chris, I think that Moses can actually make that happen.
Yeah, I need
one. It's doable. You know, it's doable. It is not. I mean, it's an accessible person. It's not you can access easily. Like I said, I mean, he is a veteran journalist.
Okay.
And I mean, the new president of the National Labour Congress.
Right?
Yes, Joseph Ajeru is a veteran journalist who reported labor for a decade. So he's abreast with the issue, and it's someone that I have so much trust on that I believe would turn things around in the country in his time as the president of the Congress.
And moving forward, we really do hope that, of course, he will do more than that.
I'll come back to Moses on this one. I'll come back to him because I need a message to go straight to the president before you run away. You know, Moses, you know why we don't have drivers in the UK? I don't see somebody sitting on the back of his car and somebody's driving the fool. It doesn't happen here. Why? Because nobody is a slave. The way, you can imagine the dignity. Somebody is sitting at the front of the car and you're sitting at the back. Doing what? The only person that is driven in this country is the prime minister. Because of the level of his work, he will go mad if he can't sit down and drive. Every other person drive, you drive yourself. I've not seen a person with a personal driver in the United Kingdom. But go on the street now, you see how many people that are slaves. I'm talking about slave trade in Nigeria. You know the last one that shocked me? Somebody open your gate for you. A gate man. Hey, in the 21st century, if I announce it to the rest of the world, one person's job is to open a gate for another idiot. It's annoying. It should stop.
What can we do? We're in a country where we don't have jobs, and people are striving to survive. These are
you see, Daddy Chris, Daddy Chris, with due respect, in a country where you have an army of unemployed youths, they can decide to do anything to survive.
Survive.
Go there. You know what? If the Nigerian government wants to engage our teeny youth, I don't get it. Look at the Nigerian government is stupid to ever say that we have youthful population of under 30, meaning you have workforce. You have the most beautiful land. Only Niger State it's bigger than the whole of Holland, Niger, and it's more fertile. Holland makes over 20 billion from agricultural export yearly. The land is not as big as only Niger State. And we have young people to farm or to cultivate all kinds of, gone are those days when farm was like physical. Farming has moved to the next level. How can we be in this state? You say the people don't have jobs? That's not why we have gate men. We choose, it's a practice that needs to be stopped. And it's going to be taking a lot of legislation. We're not going to take it. Let's go with your review. I have Moses on that another day because I'm really sick of my country. If I am angry, that's the only thing I'm worried about.
Daddy Chris, you are welcome. We've been talking, and I know that we won't stop talking. We will ensure Nigeria gets better. Really, some of us have paid the price for talking, have paid the price for writing, and like I said, we will not stop writing. We will not stop saying the truth. Nigeria must get better.
Thank you.
That's right. So we move quickly now to the Nigerian Pilot newspaper, and these are some of the headlines this morning. We have the major headline here that says NSA spits fire. And the writer went on to say, says those planning to undermine governorship as state assembly posts should have a rethink. And there's another story here also that says warns that such people would not be in their it will not be in their best interest or in the interest of Nigeria. Another writer says insist that security agencies are ready and would ensure nobody takes the law into his or her hands. We have another one here that says assured all eligible voters must exercise their fundamental right to vote. Of course, these stories are on page 8 of the Nigerian Pilot. So you won't see more of that for yourself. And then we have another story here that say IGP orders swift conclusion of investigation into electoral offenses. That story is, of course, on page 5 of the Nigerian Pilots. We have another story here that says elections over 12.9 million cyber attacks recorded in Nigeria. This is coming from federal government, and that was during the presidential polls. And that story is on page 6 of the paper. We also have another story here. Abuja natives sue FCTA over demolition, demand 10 billion naira compensation. This is a story I want us to talk about later. And then we have another story here that says February 25th elections showed integrity of electoral acts despite hitches. Now, this is coming from the presidency. We have another story here that says 3 die in bloody clash over power cuts in Benue State, a sad one. And then we have another story here. INEC warns politician supporters against violence at Guba Assembly polls. We cannot overemphasize on that particular one. We need people to be calm and remain calm. We have another story here that says DSS hiding facts about Nnamdi Kanu's health condition. And this is coming from IPOP this morning. That story is on page 8 of the paper. And then we'll have another story here that says US VP Kamala Harris to skip Nigeria in African trip. That story is on page 8 of the paper. I don't know for what reason the man is skipping Nigeria. Of course, maybe they feel that we'll have security issues. Maybe you want to go in and see the details of the story for yourself. But Moses, these are all we have here on a Nigerian pilot newspaper. But one story here that I'm very worried about, it's the fact that these demolitions that are ongoing. I have also seen that we know that these are some of so we know Abuja as a state have as a city have a master plan, but of course we know also that most of these I know I saw a video also where a beautiful house, and don't forget yesterday also in the headlines that says some of the estates in Apo Lugbe we undergo demolition also because they are not in the master plan. So my take is this very big estate, this very beautiful estate, how did they acquire these lands? Because I know, of course, FCDA also gives land to these people, and later government will come back and still reclaim the land. It's really a sad one, and it's pathetic if you ask me.
Yeah, Princess. You see, the demolition, in as much as I mean, so many Nigerians are put on the streets, you know, their businesses and their homes.
On a time also we don't have cash. Don't forget, on a time we don't have cash, we don't have anything right now. A lot of people are already stranded as it is.
Some have been rendered homeless. Yeah, but you also see what SCT had come out to say was that most of those estates, I mean, were built against the guideline given them. Well, I don't know how true that is, but those were the reasons they gave for the demolition of most of those places. But again, you and I know that there's just no how a developer could continue building without maybe first warning, second warning. There could also be an insider, what's it called now? Maneuvering. Sometimes they will ask you, stop building. And then you go behind and give someone's money who will now, I mean, say, go ahead. Mind you, offices and positions are not permanent. You could have a new person in a place, and then the person will go back to the books and look at, okay, where is, I mean, these plans being tortured. So for me, there's more to what is happening about this demolition. My only worry are those small businesses, like the markets around Dunamis in Area 1, yeah, and Old Secretariat in Area 1 are my major concern, because those guys are people who are trying to survive. They can't pay for what's it called, a shop in an organized market because of, I mean, if you even check their
small business because of the income and the amount of the shops. The shops are quite expensive.
That's it. So for me, government would have, I mean, looked at the issue critically, look at the timing, and see how they can give even alternative. So, okay, this place, you are constitute nuisance here. Let's move you to this place. I mean, because these people are Nigerians, they are not foreigners. They are not foreigners. So, like a woman was crying yesterday that she just maybe collected loan and bought 2 freezer, and they smash all those things. What do you expect such a woman to do?
Depression.
You understand? So it is sad. It is inhuman for the government to, okay, even if you want to demolish, why don't you wait? Yes, agreed, you've given them notices, agreed, you've given them enough time to say, okay, why don't you also use human face to deal with these people? Tell them, hey, move your things. We are coming so time. Even as just bring the bulldozer and push. But those, why will you smart such? I mean, you can imagine 2 freezers. Where would that woman go to?
Of course, this happened before. Like I said, in the past, I've interviewed the president of the indigenous of Abuja, and I had him on phone this morning as well. And then he kept complaining that these people don't want the indigenous to stay anywhere. They keep pushing them into the forest, into the bushes, until probably they will have to find themselves somewhere in another state, and it's a really sad one. We do hope that they will resolve this amicably, because he said he was on his way to the court as of this morning that I called. And then there's another story here that is coming from INEC this morning. INEC assures all eligible voters that they must come out and exercise their fundamental rights. And now, regarding to the elections we had some weeks ago, and what people saw, also people lost their lives. Do you think people will come out, Moses, from your opinion?
Well, like some of us who monitor the presidential election have an opinion that there's going to be voter apathy during the presidential, during the governorship and the state assembly election. You see, because first is there were this renewed hope and hope as well from INEC to say your vote will count.
They were set and they were ready.
Election will be transmitted from the polling unit, and so many Nigerians troop out to vote. You see, they came out to vote because some of them believe that their vote is going to count. I bet you there's going to be voter apathy in some states in this governorship election. Some Nigerians are already saying, INEC deceived us, INEC tricked us, we won't bother voting. I prefer to go and use my Saturday to do something different instead of going to queue for an election that is already decided by few persons. So it is sad. It is sad that INEC did what they did. Really, I even though the matter is in court, but like I said, the court will have to decide whether it is right for INEC to say, okay, we're going to transmit election electronically, and then from the polling unit, and then fail to do that at a time minute. So it's a sad one, really. It's a sad one.
And then just before we move on from this Nigerian pilot, I have a story here I want you to talk on quickly, and then we move on to the last paper for the day. This is coming from the presidency, saying that the 25th election shows integrity of electoral act despite inches, and this is from presidency. Now, what's your take on that story?
Absolutely, Kes, I believe with the presidency 100%. You see, the electoral act had shown, we've seen changes in virtually all states of the federation. You see, we've seen where you have those who felt they are untouchable, they are powerful. They didn't win election. Because now the people came out heavily, they voted, they waited, and those people find out that they lost. For instance, I can pinpoint areas where this happened. You can imagine in Kano State, you saw what happened. In Nasarawa State, for example, you saw what happened. Even in Kaduna State, you know, an Okada rider won, House of Representative. You see, so truly, the election has faced that electoral act. It is actually because of the electoral act. Yes, we agree that the beavers. My only worry was that they messed up in the presidential election. If not, I would have said 2023 election, I mean, um, moved away from where we used to have elections that people will come and snap ballot boxes to where they are now running to convince electorate to vote for them. Now, Princess, under the case, there's an issue I want to speak on the National Security Advisor splitting fire on politicians who want to undermine the governorship election. It's a shame. Why is it? He should resign. You know how many persons' life have been lost between January and today in this country, and you have somebody who ordinarily is the one advising the president on security issue in the country, and is still there talking nonsense. He should resign. He should resign. He should not be talking now. I think General somebody Mongonu or so is his name. He should resign. There's nothing that he's going to do. In fact, you should refer to him as a Tupler bulldog. What should he be talking about this now? You hear about 50 persons were murdered in Benue State just when you have 10. You understand? And we have and you see, and we have head of security agency. Nobody has resigned, and he, as the chief, as a national security advisor to the president, has not resigned and is talking trash.
What a shame.
Okay. And on that note, we move on quickly to the last paper of the day, and that is this is your paper now, Moses, that we're trying to review. And these are some of the headlines this morning on the Blueprint newspaper. We have INEC to parties on March 18 polls. Now INEC is calling on INEC is saying your supporters, agents must refrain from violence, and that story, of course, is on page 6 of the paper. And then the writer says we will be tough on major flashpoints. This is coming from NSA and CP. And then we'll have another story here that say operatives won't spare those bent on compromising the process. We have the last writer here that says Nigerians politics fascinating, has bright future. Now this is coming from the British Envoy, and these stories can be seen on page 6 of the Blueprint newspaper. We'll quickly go now. Some of the headlines here also says that old 500 naira, 1,000 naira notes, anxiety cautions trace CBN's final compliance. This is coming from experts this morning. And of course, we have some other stories here that says rule of law, 120 CSOs, 20 lawyers insist Bauer must step aside. EFCC. This story is on, of course, page 5 of the Blueprint newspaper. EFCC nabbed 21 Yahoo boys in Abuja. We have another story here. Man nabbed for defiling 10-year-old girl in Ondo. That story is on page 9 of the Blueprint newspaper. We have another story here. Lassa fever spread to 22 states. Death toll hits 109. Is really a sad one. And then we'll have another story here also from Blueprint this morning. 25th polls. We have successfully blocked over 12 million cyber attacks. This is coming from federal government, of course, and that story can be seen on page 24 of the Blueprint newspaper. And then we have another story here also that say 2023 Hajj, FCT board begins orientation for intended pilgrims on page 5 of the paper. And then of course we have another story here on page 13 that says banditry, 17 public schools closed in Shiroro local government. That is coming from the local government chairman from Niger State, of course. And then we have another story here also that say NCC directs MCN Airtel orders to implement short code. That story is on page 23 of the news paper. A story, Moses, these are some of the stories making waves this morning, of course, from your own paper. Now, there's a story here I want to speak on. This issue of Lassa fever is really, and I think we should bring in a doctor on the show maybe tomorrow if we have the time. Of course, it's and the death toll, as we can see, it's rising. It has hit 109 people, and it has spread across to 22 states. Of course, we are more concerned about the well-being of Nigerians and the people, and so what do you think we do about this? Of course, I know you're not a doctor, but I think personal hygiene and a lot of things also could help when it comes to issues like this.
Yeah, you're right, Princess. See, Lassa fever, has always been a recurrent situation in Nigeria. I really don't know what our health experts are doing. And again, apart from our health expert, I think creating awareness about this pandemic is maybe this low. Maybe it is low because if you go to some community in this country, you see how unkept the environment is. You see gutter crossing. If even within FCT, you will see. I mean, rodents moving from one spot to another, and people lives around there. They don't see it as something. First, they need to keep the environment clean because that rodent could find its way to their homes where they keep their food and maybe feed on it. Now, so I think the government need to do more. Ministry of Health need to do more by creating awareness in local languages to advise citizens to ensure the environment is clean, to ensure they clear bushes, gutters, and everything that could bring rodent close to their homes. So I think government need to step up it's creating awareness campaign about these diseases because it is alarming right now. If the
It's
spread has
alarming.
already in 22 states in Nigeria, so it's worrisome. It's worrisome, really. Government need to step up her campaign, create awareness in local languages. Push health experts to communities to talk to people, tell them on the need to ensure the environment is clean. I think government is not doing enough about this. If it's doing enough, if I'm sure by now people should know that what causes Lassa fever is this, and that. If you are aware, I mean, you prevent it rather than wait until there's an outbreak and then you are running helter skelter to ensure you curtail it. Find a way to even prevent it happening.
And then we have another story here also because now I'm more concerned about the well-being. Like this show will always look out for the well-being of Nigerians. And then we have another story here that says a man nabbed for defiling 10 years old in girl in Ondo. What do we do about this reoccurring issue? All the time on the news, we see people defiling as young as 6, as 5 years old, 10, 20, or I don't know, like it's alarming.
Princess, this is an animalistic way of behavior. I mean, you can imagine a minor, such a person should be incarcerated. It is barbaric. I mean, why would you, for Christ's sake, there are commercial sex workers everywhere. Why would you go and define a minor? I mean, I can't stand this. As a parent, I feel sad seeing or reading such news in newspaper. And such people live around, I mean, live within us. I mean, we should rise up. And I really don't think this is normal. It's only animal that behave like that. How can a sane human being, an adult, defiling a minor? As in, I just can't beat it, Kev. It's sad. So the person should be incarcerated. If I mean, if let me not get emotional on air right now, but honestly, it is sad.
Well,
It is
I'm
sad.
sorry about that, Moses, but of course, as bitter as these issues may seem, with there are issues we still need to. Well, like you said, we cannot stop talking. We'll keep talking, and of course, we call on the security agencies to do the needful, because such people should not be left walking in the streets of the country or any place. It
Absolutely,
should be dealt with
absolutely.
severely. And then we have another story here just before we go that says the rule of law, 100 as CSOs, 20 lawyers insist Bauer must step aside.
In as much as in as much as I might not really be abreast with the issue of the EFC chairman, but I think I wouldn't know if it is corruption that is fighting back or what. I don't know. But if at all Bauer is guilty, even though I know there were court judgment committing him to prison for contempt and one or two or whatever. I wouldn't know if it is on this basis that these CSOs are calling for his resignation or his sack. But Bauer, as someone who has integrity, should step aside if he thinks, because he can be a judge, over his matter.
That's right.
He can be a judge over his matter. So he should step aside and allow, just like the former EFC chairman, Magu. We saw that he was asked to step aside until investigation was launched. So he should also do same. Rather this back and front, today is this, tomorrow is that.
And then just before we call today this morning, there is we see a story here, because I'm more concerned, of course, about the children, the youth, and of course people, the nation as a country. Banditry, 17 public schools closed in Shiroro, and of course that is somewhere in Niger State. It's really sad, like you said earlier, that the NSA, they should focus their energy places that their energies are needed. These are children, and then they are forced again to sit at home, to be at home, and then you think it's all right. I don't think that is all right. It's really a sad.
You see, Princess. You see, I just keep wondering if at all Nigeria is a country, because how can bandits? Who are bandits? Who are they? For Christ's sake, and we have security agency that the government is spending huge amount of money catering for their well-being so that they can protect lives and property. So what are they doing? And what happened to intelligent gathering? What happened to things like that? What happened to community policing? Is it something we don't know? Is it more than what we can see? Because how can a school? How can you? I just can't
school, not just one school, and it's really
imagine this thing happening in our time. I just can't imagine it. Why would you? Why don't you go to the State House of Assembly and they adopt all of them?
That's right.
Yes.
Why go to Metama where they live, go to Asokoro, go to Apo legislative quarters where they live and deal with them severely. We won't have issues with that, but leave the common man alone.
These innocent people
alone. That is what we're
these innocent young children that Abba. This is barbaric.
This is barbaric. Yes, and we really do hope, like we keep saying, we can't stop talking, we'll keep saying it, that the agencies involved, the security agencies, should do the needful. And that is a good place this morning to wrap up the show. Moses, thank you so much for joining us today. We do this again hopefully tomorrow. Of course, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show, because you have a way of doing justice to each topic we have, and we're so happy that you could join us today. We really do hope also that maybe you can join tomorrow, any other time. We'll appreciate that. Of course, we thank Daddy KRIS also for joining us much today for being part of the show, and of course to our viewers, thank you for being part of the show. Follow us on our social media handles. If you're viewing from YouTube, do the needful. Click on the notification bell, like the page, follow, and of course share our content as we bring you more trending and hot stories and gist. If you're out there, we'll keep saying that take care, be at alert, stay safe, stay safe. Stay safe. These are injury time. Of course, we're talking to people in the States now. Barely days to the elections. A lot of things are happening. Please stay safe while you are out there. And of course, Moses, thank you again for being part of the show. We do this again tomorrow.
Thank you for having me.
I remain yours truly,
London,
Princess
in partnership with NTA TV Enterprise, present the maiden edition of the Nigerian Week in the capital of the world, London. A wonderful blend of entertainment, business, and networking, displaying a wide range of arts, national cash crops, financial products and services, and real estate for huge extra opportunity in diaspora. Look no further. The 36 states of the Federation, the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Trade and Investment, the Nigerian Film Corporation, and host of others will be in attendance. Date 15